Give me a few seconds, beta. Okay, I'm trying to work it out. Okay. Ah, yeah. Now we are live. Perfect. Okay, we are live. So let me share my screen now.
Okay.
Jai Jinendra beta. So let's like our usual day. Let's start with Naukar Mantra. Ashka, why don't you take the lead on Naukar Mantra today, and
Okay.
we'll just follow you. How about that?
Can I start?
Yes, beta. Go ahead.
Namo Rihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ariyanam, Namo
Namo
Vazayanam,
Vajrayana,
Namo
Namo
Visavasaham,
Visavasaham, Esu Panchana
Esopanchanamparo,
Pantaro, Sava Pava
Savapavapanam,
Panashano,
Mangalanam
Mangalanam Cha Savese,
Chasavam,
Namo Vai Mangalam. Okay, Jai Jinendra Beta. I hope you are somehow surviving in the cold wherever you are. है ना?
Yes.
So, with that said, today we are going to take up a very interesting topic, and this topic is kind of related to the fundamentals of Jainism, the way we describe basically Jain physics. Okay, so what we are going to venture into is Jain physics and Jain biology together. So Jain sciences basically, है ना? That's what we are going to cover. The starting topic is the topic of Jeev and Ajeev. Okay, there are two words, Jeev and Ajeev. Ashka, Vivan, do you know what they stand for?
No. I feel like maybe just because I feel like they sound like these words to live, maybe
Uh,
something like this.
Close. Yes, it's a similar root. So it's kind of, you are very close. है ना? So Jeev is that, and Ajeev is like the opposite of it. So whatever Jeev is, we'll cover it in a bit. Jeev in Hindi, there are some, like any language, when you put these prefixes in front of the word, their meaning is turned. It becomes it takes the opposite form. Like un. These are like usual suspects for when it comes to opposites, right? So it's like if it's jeev, then ajeev is the just opposite of it. है ना? That's what it is. So Eshna, can you describe what is a jeev? Achieve. Not ajeev. No, just Jeev. Okay. A Jeev. Okay. Living thing. A living thing. Okay. That's perfect. A Jeev is a living thing or living being. है ना? And a Jeev is just opposite of it. So a non-living. Right? Non-living things are अजीव्स. सिंपल एज दैट. ठीक है ना? सो अब हम देखते हैं कि एज पर जैन यूनिवर्स व्हाट आर जीव्स. सो द क्वेश्चन दैट आई एम गोइंग टू आस्क यू आफ्टर दिस video is, you have to I'll give you some names, and you will have to tell me if they are jeev or ajeev. Fine? Okay.
Yes.
So let's keep go through the video now. It's a very simple video for your age. Since you know it stands for living and non-living, you already know what it is, right?
Yes.
So it would be very fast for you to understand.
Yes. Have you ever wondered what are all these things that we see around us? And so many people who can feel and talk? Confused. What does this mean? Well, anything in this world can fall in one of the two buckets. It could either be a living thing or a non living thing. Living things are those who have the ability to know and see. These living beings are called Jeev. They can experience joy and sorrow, meaning they can feel emotions like happiness and sadness. And apart from this, everything else is non living, meaning a Jeev. Interesting, right? Okay.
You guys can listen properly, right? Okay.
Now think about your best friend in your mind and tell whether your best friend is a living being or a non-living being.
So what do you think? Is your best friend a living being or non-living being?
A living being. Living being.
Okay.
Ajeev.
There are some kids who have this uh, false impression that their teddy bear is their best friend. Okay, so if I say a teddy bear is my best friend, is teddy bear a living being or a non-living being?
A non-living thing.
Okay, perfect. Good. At least you know that. Okay. How about people say books are your best friends?
Not non-living.
Yes, books are your best friends in some sense, but still they are non-living.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. A book may be very lively in its story, the story that it tells, still it's non-living. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that distinction, it is a sometimes metaphorically we say, oh, book is your best friend, or teddy bear is my best friend. He knows all my secrets. Uh, okay, I'm going to ask you a very difficult question now for
Okay.
people who live in these times and ages. Is Santa living or non-living?
He used to live.
What do you think?
Mhm.
Hmm? Vivan?
I'm gonna say like he used to live in like the 1700s. Older than that. I don't know. I don't even know if Santa was like ever a real thing. Maybe just a made up thing for little kids.
Exactly. Ishna, what's your answer?
Santa technically is real because it's just your parents.
Good one. That's good one. So Santa as a character is not living. You are right, Ashka, right? And Ishna is right in a more philosophical sense, right? When she said Santa is real because that's your parents, technically your parents. So I like that answer as well. But you are right. Santa is never, it's not real. It's a made up character, right? It's a role played to keep little kids happy in Christian cultures. है ना? It's a Christian uh, concept which got adapted by most of the people blindly. They don't even know why it's there, but it's there. है ना? So, but you have to have the cognizance, right? And Santa never lived. There was nothing like a Santa Claus who lives in North Pole in 17th century. Even in 17th century, there was no Santa living in North Pole and coming in on that reindeers and delivering the gifts. It was all made up story. है ना? So good answer. So you have to have understanding, right? Similarly, okay, another very difficult question I'm going to ask. How about Captain America? Vivan,
See, the Captain America is a character that is played by a living thing, a living
in
being,
person, yes,
but the
okay, but
character itself is not living.
perfect. Got that, Vivan?
Yeah.
Okay. How about Pikachu?
Got you. He's the yellow cat. I don't know. Pikachu? I don't know what animal he is. He's
Pokemon character,
Pokemon, yeah. He's non-living. Non-living.
non-living, right? Made up animation character, है ना? So you have to have that awareness. You may like the stories. They are very entertaining and very gripping stories. Like they will hold you down there. People get carried away. There are so many people who start playing video games. They play it so much that they start believing that that's the real universe and the characters in there are real character. And when you shoot some character, it can come back because there is a life after game over also.
Yeah.
So people, their minds just get bent, right? So we have to be very aware of that thing. When you take up these habits, they can lead you into hallucination. है ना? People start believing things which are not real, like considering some characters which are real, and that's a psychological problem. है ना? So, yes, enjoy Captain America movies, enjoy Thor movies, enjoy what are all the characters in the multiverse these days, right? Enjoy those movies, but be aware they are not real, okay? They are just made up characters. है ना? They are non living in that sense. Animation objects are objects, they are not living beings. Okay. How about, do you know about Chat GPT?
Yes.
What do you think? Is ChatGPT real, like a living being?
Non-living being because all of the stuff is just sourced from a computer.
How about you, Ishna? What do you think?
It is just not real.
Not real and not living being. है ना? We are. It's a ajeev. Let's use the right word. Ajeev. है ना? अजीब है वो, है ना? हाँ, उसमें ये है कि you have provided it lots of knowledge. It's a model. It's a neural network. It's a large language model, as they call it, which is trained using available information. And once it is trained, it can take up your answers. It can take up tags and then basically come up with the most accurate answer as per the knowledge available to it at a given point in time. है ना? But still, it's not real. It's an ajeev. Why is it very important for us to understand it? We are living in an age where these large language models, these AI objects, these AI, models, artificial intelligence models are evolving into becoming more and more powerful and more intelligent.
Yeah.
Right? Some people have started comparing them with human beings, but still, human beings are living beings. But these computer models are not. वो अजीब ही है ना? वो कितने भी इंटेलिजेंट हो जाए फिर भी वो अजीब ही रहेंगे. ठीक है ना? ठीक है? So let's be aware of that. ठीक है? Now let's go back to the video.
See, one who can understand different color through their eyes, who can distinguish different types of music through their ears, or can feel happiness or sadness. They are all jeev or living beings. Okay, so now think about animals like cows, horses, dogs, cats, etc. Are these living beings? Yes.
What do you think? Are they living beings?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that is also very important to understand, because most of the people who consume, non-living, who consume meat, they don't even have awareness of the source of the food.
Yeah.
है ना? They think meat comes from a factory. Yes, Ishna.
Or they just don't care.
Or they just don't care, right? So, but we have to care, right? And for us to care, first we have to have an understanding कि ये सब भी जीव होते हैं, है ना? और जो भी food is derived by killing a jeev is not a good food. That is, that is dependent on an act of violence, and act of violence gets you bad karma. Okay, there is no God who will give you good karma and bad karma. It is all because of the choices and your acts. है ना? So if you make the right choices in life and your acts are appropriate, then you will get good karma. If you make bad choices in life, है ना, and you don't even think before doing certain acts, then you will get bad karma. Make sense? तो उसको बहुत ध्यान रखना है. तो अब इसमें क्या होता है, बहुत लोगों को पता ही नहीं होता है. Oh, you know what? There are these very bent human beings that say, oh, I don't eat beef, but I eat dog meat or I eat chicken. Right? But that same chicken is also a living being, right? The meat, the flesh derived from chicken is by killing chicken. So how can it be, different from beef, which is derived from killing the cow? है ना? There are people who say, oh, we don't eat pork, but we eat, some people say they eat cows, beef. They are okay with beef. However, they don't understand. They are same, right? They have the same type of soul as a soul that is present with us in this life. है ना? Human beings की जो soul होती है ना, at the soul level, it's same as the soul that's present in the body of a cow or a horse. They are at that level, they are all same. Ishna, you have a question? No. What's your point?
Some people say that I don't eat animals and I'm vegan on Thursday. I'm vegan on Thursdays and
I got it. And I teach on those. Okay, so how do you treat with these people? You should your answer back to them should be I'm vegan every day or I'm a vegetarian every day, right? That's what I am. And for me, it's a matter of conviction. It's not a matter of a you know uh, a choice related to basically my flexibility or my this is my conviction, this is my principle, है ना? For Jains, it's not just about like, oh, source of protein versus kind of debate. It's more about this is my principle. We don't kill animals for getting our food because that gets me bad karma. If I get bad karma, I get bad life. That's what is important. Now, people will say, "Oh, but you know what? There are so many people who are consuming meat, but they are very rich. So how have they got the bad life?" The answer there is they may not have got the bad life in this life because of their past good karma. They still are enjoying the fruits of those good karma, but in the next life, for sure, they will be suffering. They will be suffering in hell because they have killed animals or become an instrument in killing of those animals of the jeev, है ना? So that's what it is. So coming back to the point, so jeev and ajeev, right? Vikhyat and Samyak, thanks for joining. We are covering the topic of jeev and ajeev. Do you know, Vikhyat, what jeev means?
He was like alive, and I was late because like I had a chess match. It came back a little late.
I understand. You can answer your question and we can go back.
Ajeev is like anything alive.
Okay, beta. And what is ajeev?
Ajeev is anything not alive.
Okay. Are you a jeev?
Yes, we are Jeeves.
Okay, perfect. Samyak, is Santa a jeev or an ajeev? Can you hear me? No, not you, Samyak. There is a Samyak on the class. Sorry, my son's name is Samyak as well, with a GA at the end. So he was taking my call. Samyak Jain on the screen, on the classroom. You want to take that question? Are you able to hear me out, Samyak? Can you please could you please turn on your camera? So I can see you, beta. Okay, looks like my voice is not going to him. Let's
He
see.
said something in the chat.
Oh, he did? Okay. I cannot unmute and turn on my camera. Got it. Ajeev. Yes, you got the answer right. Thank you, beta, to reply back in the chat. Now I'll see it on chat. Yeah, but my camera will not turn on. I can hear you, but my camera will not turn on. Okay, no worries. Take let's continue with whatever situation you are in. If you are able to work out what's going on with your mic, that would be awesome. That way I can at least hear you. है ना? But yeah, Ajeev is a good answer, is the right answer, that Santa is not real. Santa is just a character, made for pleasing kids. It's not real. How about Captain America, Vikhyat?
Captain America is not real.
So I
Contrary
want
to popular belief. I
got it. So Vikhyat, Vikhyat, why don't you use the right word? I'm asking you, is it a jeev or an ajeev?
Well, ajeev.
Perfect. Thank you, beta. Anna, I got this philosophy, but we have to stick to the words so that we can use them properly. Now I can see you, Samyak. Okay, I can see you. Perfect. Thank you for joining the class, Samyak. Where are you based out of, Samyak? You can type it. And I think
does my microphone work now?
Perfect. It does. Thank you.
All right. So I'm in US, Massachusetts.
You're in Massachusetts, so it's cold out there. Yeah.
Yes.
It's warm. What grade are you in, Samyak?
I'm in ninth.
Ninth grade. Perfect. Perfect. You are 1 year older than my son. And his name is also Samyak Jain. But his spelling is with a G-A at the end. So it's S-A-M-Y-A-G-A. Samyak. That's why when I was calling you, my son came out of his room. He's preparing for his pre-coms and he's like, what's there? What's going on, Dad? Anyways, I'll not bother him. I have another Samyak that I'll bother, and he's in my class. Okay? Good. Welcome to the class. Okay. So the topic of Jeev and Ajeev, right? I'll keep playing the video, and we'll get to more interaction.
They also use their eyes and ears to know and understand things. When the calf is taken away from the mother cow, then they feel sad. Hence, they are also Jeev, a living being. Now, look around and tell me, what are these birds, flies, cockroaches, ants, honeybees, or tiny creatures which are present all around us? Oh yes, even these tiny creatures are living beings. That is Jeev. Let us see how. So there are flies. They can see the light with their eyes and are attracted towards it. Similarly, house flies sit on the sweet food items because they like the taste of it. They can taste just like we humans can. And when we move our hands over sweets, then the flies fear and fly away because they are also scared for their life, just the way we are when we sense danger. Now tell me, these plants and trees, are all of these living or
Okay. This is going to get interesting now. Are plants Jeev or Ajeev? Samyak.
Jeev.
जीव यस प्लांट्स आर जीव टू अच्छा अब प्लांट्स तो जीव हो गए ठीक है ना तो अब हम जब एक बात करते हैं लास्ट क्लास वी डिड द टॉपिक ऑफ 5 सेंसेस है ना what is the difference how in Jainism we classify animals or jeevs in Jainism we classify jeev based on the number of sensory organs they have right so there are ekendriya jeev who have one sensory organ jeevs दो इंद्रिय जीव which are like two sensory organs तीन इंद्रिय जीव four इंद्रिय जीव and then the highest order is five इंद्रिय जीव in five इंद्रिय जीव there are two categories sanghi and asanghi right asanghi are like they have five senses but they do not have cognitive abilities or the power to rationalize along with those five senses right however human being and other higher form of animals like your lion your cheetah and your elephants and whatnot they all have some degree of cognitive ability as well they can rationalize they can think and differentiate between right and wrong for themselves whatever is considered right and wrong from their point of view they can differentiate between them a lion would never eat something which it thinks is poisonous same way elephant will never eat a type of grass or a fruit which according to the knowledge that they have as the knowledge of the herd is considered as poisonous so they can differentiate कि मैं ये खाऊंगा तो मर जाऊंगा and every जीव की सबसे basic instinct क्या होती है वो होती है they all are afraid of dying even in plants this kind of character is seen and it has been proven with experimentation people have tried to do certain things with the plant and the plant is reacting to save its existence what happens is a story I get reminded of a book I read about plants very good book and Ishna, can you bring that book? I'll just show it. It's a good read for kids your age. Do you know what book I'm talking about? The book about plants? Yes, there is one. But bring fast, okay? So, what that book talks about is there are these plants in Africa, like general trees. When giraffes come to eat their leaves, as a herd, the plants start, oozing out certain chemicals pheromones in the atmosphere and that's like a reminder or a message to other plants of the same species and itself to basically of the imminent danger. And not only that, that kind of make the leaves a bit bitter for a giraffe. So that makes a giraffe to move from that tree to the next, and so forth. है ना? Why is a tree doing it? Because tree is a जीव. है ना? अच्छा, अब इसमें सबसे मजे की बात क्या है पता है? The मजे की बात is the modern sciences that we read in school, the Western physical sciences, only proved this concept as late as in 19th century. That's when
great.
that's with experiments they proved that, oh, plants have life. There is a scientist, J.C. Basu, who did this experimentation, Indian scientist. Not this. Okay, give me a second. I will bring that book for you. Plant book. Here, hidden life. Oh, yeah. If you ever get a chance, buy this book and read this through. Can you see the book?
We can see the book.
Okay. The book is Hidden Life of the Tree by Peter Walban. I'll write it down, and say it's a very good book. There is an audio book of the same also. And then there is this other series. It was written by a German guy. And it's very hidden. This is Inner Life of Animals. Okay, for a Jain person, reading these two books is recommended. This will give you great thought about the hidden life of trees and animals. Not that we don't know about it, it's just a validation of what we know. So, abhi point kya hai? Jainism, we should be proud of the religion that we are born with traditionally, because our religion, our Tirthankar, through his knowledge, gave us this thought at least 2,500 years ago. When Mahavir Bhagwan's Samosharan happened and his, Deshna happened, this thought came to Jains that dekho, plant mein bhi jeev hota hai. Isliye we eat certain types of plant and we don't eat other type of plants.
Why do we not eat aloo, like potatoes?
Perfect question, Vikhyat. Perfect question, Vikhyat.
Because they're just like another a thing, like the plant things, right? They're not like the plant itself.
Okay.
Or are they?
No, I got your question. Let me answer that, but let me complete my thought first. Okay. Keep your question there. We'll get to it. So that's why in Jainism there are certain plants that we consume, certain plants we don't. Now, why do we not consume certain plants? Is based on the great thing called of science, of the scientific aptitude called observation and inference. Jains applied that and they learned certain things out of it. They said, okay, the basic tenet of Jainism is non-violence, or in other words, less killing is the best living. है ना? Plants में भी killing होती है, plants में भी life होती है. तो अगर हम कोई plant खा रहे हैं तो obviously we are doing some harm to the plant. But the plants are of what type of beings? They are one sense organism. तो one sense organism को damage करना bad है, but compared to damaging life of a 2 sense to 5 sense organism, it is little bit okay. But having said that, अभी क्वेश्चन आता है कि भाई हम आलू क्यों नहीं खाते, है ना? तो आलू के साथ दो चीजें होती है विख्यात. One is it's an underground plant.
Yeah, I know that, but like,
okay, you have to make Vikyat, you have to let me complete my thought.
Yeah.
I know you know this. Okay, but unless you hear it out, you will not be able to get the concept. Okay? So you asked your question, now it's my turn to answer. Okay? So that is one part. Underground होता है, तो underground होता है तो उसमें क्या होता है? देखो, on its own, आलू has its own life. ठीक है ना? It has a soul of its own because it's a plant. The plant has a soul. But on top of it, Alu is considered that type of plant in Jainism that supports many other life forms. And when I'm saying many, I'm talking about uncountable number of life forms.
Like millions, trillions?
Like millions and trillions, yes. Microorganisms. that survive around आलू as the center stage of its ecosystem. है ना? ऐसा कहते हैं कि if you take a small speckle of आलू and you put it inside the ground, first thing it will grow again into a full grown aloo. And then on top of it, it will be supporting so many lives. So when you eat aloo or a pyaz for that matter, onion, which again grows there, hai na, you are not just damaging life of one plant or one organism, but also of those millions of organisms that are associated with that aloo or that pyaz.
Like I always wondered, like
Yeah.
it's like
बट
when
एक और
you
चीज, अच्छा विख्यात, एक और चीज अब मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ, चलो ये कॉन्सेप्ट है, तो फिर ग्राउंड नट्स क्यों अलाउ है? ग्राउंड नट्स आर ओके इस पर जैनिज्म, यू कैन ईट.
why?
ओके, ग्राउंड नट मीन्स पीनट्स इन अमेरिकन इंग्लिश, है ना?
No, but peanuts क्यों allowed if that's the
हाँ,
thing?
देखा, अच्छा क्वेश्चन है. मैंने आई प्लांटेड द क्वेश्चन विथ यू. द रीजन इज peanuts have a hard shell.
Nothing can get into it.
Yes. And then on top of it, it's the nature of this plant is different. When it comes to groundnut, it's only one plant that we are talking about. You know, when you are taking a groundnut out, you're only taking that groundnut out. But that's not the case for aloo. है ना? So that's what has been observed by the Jain monks and the Jain Tirthankars, and that's how this rule
Aloo thing?
started. है ना? अच्छा, और दूसरी चीज क्या है, ये इट्स नॉट आलू, बिकॉज महावीर भगवान के टाइम में तो इंडिया में आलू था ही नहीं. सो इट्स नॉट लाइक महावीर भगवान सेड आलू मत खाना. नो, because there was no aloo grown in India at that time.
So
Okay,
aloo didn't exist then.
Aloo I think is a South American crop that was imported into India by the Portuguese. The Portuguese business sailors. That's how aloo got introduced.
Ah,
in
yes, they're Europeans.
However, there were other underground plants that were existing in India, which are of similar type. Like beetroot was there. Like there were other. I'm not able to. I don't know the English names for them, but there are other kachalus and those kind of plants are there, which were tubers. They are all tubers. We are here talking about the category of plants called tubers. है ना? So there were other tubers that were grown in India and they were eaten by people. Kandmuli.
Like, wait, what Kandamuli क्या होता है?
Kandmul. Kandmul. Kandmul is like underground tuber plants.
What's a tuber plant?
Tuber plant. Aloo is a tuber plant. Google it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll Google it later.
Yes. Okay, but that's the category of plants that we don't consume, or Jains are supposed not to consume. ठीक है ना? They are plant, but because they support so many. Same is the case with eggplants. Bangan. Bangan has multiple jeeves. है ना? तो बैंगन के साथ भी ऐसा ही होता है कि एक जो बैंगन होता है वो बहुजीवी होता है, बहुबीजी होता है. उसमें एक तो बहुत सारे सीड्स होते हैं, and then same thing, it has many organelles. Another important ones that Jains should not eat is figs. Oh, there is a great video floating around on figs life cycle, how a small fly enters into fig fruit and dies there. Before it dies, it lays thousands of eggs, and then from those eggs, millions of flies are produced inside the fig fruit. There is a very interesting video. I'll share it in our WhatsApp group later. But when you'll see it, you'll realize why Jains from the beginning said no to figs or fig-like fruits. है ना? Because they support lots of life. So coming back to the video now, okay? I didn't realize this video will turn into so much of information sharing, but that's good. That's why we are here, right?
Yes, they too feel cold and heat, and they also experience happiness and sorrow. Do you know there is even a plant called Venus flytrap, which when an insect sits on it, the plant gets to know and immediately eats it. Wow, right? And what about Tables, chairs, toys, clothes, our car, our jewelry, our money. Kids, these are all non-living beings because neither these things can understand anything, nor can they experience the feeling of joy and sorrow. Okay, do you know even living beings are of two different types?
So you understand this, right? So they have the senses and they have feelings. That is very important, right? But most importantly, humans are at the top, of the pyramid. Why? Because they have what is considered as the cognitive ability along with the five senses. ठीक है ना? अच्छा, अब एक और चीज, एक इंद्रिय, दो इंद्रिय, तीन इंद्रिय, चार इंद्रिय और पांच इंद्रिय, कौन सी इंद्रिय होती है? विच सेंसरी ऑर्गन दे हैव? There is a trick. This is not that difficult of a question. It's not a memory question. It's very easy for us to understand. कैसे होता है? You remember that thing I told you the other day? Touch, taste, smell, and then what is this? Looking or vision, and then hearing. Right? So the order is like that. You apply the same order to the indriya classification, right? So one sensory organisms who actually have only sense they have is the sense of touch, like amoeba, like those small organelles or the organisms, microorganisms. The only sense they have is the sense of touch. Then comes the two sense organs, which have touch and taste. Then comes three sense organisms, which have touch, taste, and smell. The four sense, touch, taste, smell, and vision, like looking. And five, like us, we have all the five. Plus, we also have what is called as cognitive ability. है ना? ठीक है. और AI जो machines होती है ना, large language model, उनके पास एक ही ability होती है. और वो ability क्या है? In some degree or shape or form, they have an ability of which is cognitive ability. That also is a acquired ability, like that's introduced into that model, into that machine, basically, right?
It's
So
like they
that's why
learn it.
that's why we don't consider them as living beings. They are ajiv still. They may have learning abilities which we have given them, but they don't have the five senses, and it goes from there. ठीक है? अभी next चीज जो important here है वो है कि जीव का classification, right? So let's go there.
One being sansari, and other being mukt. Mukt are those who are pure souls. They always stay blissful and peaceful. They neither take birth nor they die. They don't have any feelings of sorrow, etc. Okay, now tell me, who are these Mukjeev? Do you know of any? Correct, Siddh Bhagwan. So the second one is Sansari Jeev, who experience and undergo birth, death, old age, that is aging, joy, sorrow, and similarly other emotions. The human experience all these things. So what will be called? Correct. Sansari Jeev. Mahavir Bhagwan said that kindness towards all living beings is the true dharma. We should be kind and caring towards all living things. Like how you feel sad, others also have the feeling of sadness. So we should not make anyone sad. Like we don't wish to be harmed or hurt. Similarly, others also don't want to be harmed or hurt. So we must also not harm or hurt anyone. When someone talks to us polite, so we must also talk to others humbly so that they can also feel nice. The way we feel nice when we go to our friend's house and they share their toys with us, we must also share our toys with our friends so that they would feel nice too. We'll do so, right? Jai Jani.
Okay. Make sense? right?
Mhm.
We have to be nice to all living beings. Now, one important concept that was introduced here, that jeevs are of two types: sansari jeev and mukt jeevs. When we say siddh bhagwan, right, after moksha all the arihants become siddh. So all the siddh bhagwans are mukt jeevs. They are just soul, no body. Mukt ka mane, there is only soul, there is no body associated with it. Sansari jeev means a jeev who's associated with a body, and they basically take birth and then they die, and they feel pain and they feel sorrow, and they have all kind of emotions. However, a mukt jeev is mukt because they don't have any of these things. No feelings, no sorrows, no uh, what do you call it, feeling of sadness, no feeling of happiness, no birth, taking the birth, no dying away, right? Once some soul reaches a mukt avastha, they stay there for eternity. That's what Mahavir Bhagwan said. है ना? So that is very important for us. That's what we say when we say, hey, my objective in life and as a soul should be to become mukt jeev, that, or to attain moksha. That means I want to become a mukt jeev. Saying that I want to attain moksha is same as saying I want to become a mukt jeev. They're same thing. है ना? मोक्ष का माने ही होता है to become a मुक्त जीव, to become formless, basically, to just stay as a soul with no feelings, no pain, no nothing. That's what मुक्त जीव is all about. ठीक है? अच्छा, इंपॉर्टेंट चीज ये तो हमने पढ़ लिया. अभी लेट्स कम बैक टू, there is one more video I want to show to you guys, which is kind of on to a related concept. That's further classification of the sansari jeevs. Sansari jeevs are jeevs with a body, right? So they are classified into, as I said, these 5 categories based on the 5 presence of the organs, 5 organs, है ना? उसको एक और क्लासिफिकेशन किया है, द ब्रॉडर क्लासिफिकेशन, विच इज इनटू स्थावर जीव एंड त्रस जीव. So let's study that. Okay, so let's go to स्थावर जीव first.
Jainendra, you can have a maximum of 5 senses. We all have 5 senses, which are touch, taste, smell, sight, and hearing. They're called Panchendriyaji, or 5 sense organisms. All the flies, mosquitoes, butterflies, and bees are 4 sense organisms. Ants, termites, scorpions, and bedbugs are 3 sense organisms, and worms and caterpillars are 2 sense beings. All these 2 to 5 sense organisms are also called thrusty. But what about 1 sense organisms?
What are they called? Thrust jeev. Thrust jeev ka mane, thrust means who are mobile. They can move, basically. है ना? They have these from 2 to 5 sense organisms have one ability of moving. They are mobile, and that's why they are called as thrust jeev. While स्थावर jeev means they are stationary. Similar sounding words, right? Stationary स्थावर, है ना? So maybe their roots long back in the old language may be the same. So who knows? But that's what स्थावर jeevs are. So first, this video is about those 1 sense organisms that are also called as स्थावर jeevs. क्या बोलते हैं उनको?
स्थावर jeeves.
स्थावर jeev. Exactly. Thank you, Vikhyat.
Are there such beings in the world? The answer is yes, which brings us to today's topic, Sparsha Indriya, or beings that only have 1 sense, touch. The air, water, plants, earth, and fire that surround us are all 1 sense organisms. So there are 2 kinds of jeev, thrust jeev and स्थावर jeev, and there are 5 types of स्थावर jeev. First is the earth, or Prithvi Kayak. Soil, stones, and mountains all fall under this category. Second is Jalakayak, which means water. This category includes ice, water, and rivers. Third is fire, or Agni Kayak, which includes fire and candle flame. Fourth is Vayukayak, or the air. Air, storms, and wind all fall under this category too. Lastly is Vanaspatikayak, or the plants. This is the plants, trees, leaves, and grass. These are also living beings and can feel and touch things. But first, let's hear a story. This is a story about a little bird.
Okay.
One.
Before we go to the story, it's very important to understand what are we saying when we say kaik jeev, right? Vayu kaik, Agni kaik, Vanaspati kaik, and Prithvi kaik. What Jainism, as per Jainism, even the earth, even the soil is considered a living being. Even a water body is considered a living being. So think of it. When you are polluting a water body, you are actually causing violence. You are causing violence to a single indriya jeev, a sthawar jeev, that is water. If you cause pollution of air, you are actually causing violence to that vayu kaik jeev, which is around you. Aisa thought hai, right? Now people say, oh, how can you say that? We don't believe Vayu has jeev. But think of it, that 200 years back, the Western sciences considered plants as non-living. And then they proved themselves wrong with the scientific experimentation that actually plants have life, right? So same way, it's a matter of catching up. At some point, who knows, a big revelation happens in the Western sciences and some scientists come out with the right experiments and data to prove that actually the air that surrounds us is also living being. Okay, until that, we will keep believing it, but we may not be able to convince other people. It's a matter of catching up, right? Like people used to consider Pluto as a full-blown planet long time back. Now they think it's a, what do they call it now? A microplanet? No, what
A
do they?
dwarf.
A dwarf, yeah, a dwarf planet, right? So what's true? Who knows what, right? So that way, even as per Jainism, even fire is a single cell organism, or not single cell, sorry, it's a single sense organism, and the broad word for it is thawar jeev. Okay, na? So that's what we are hearing. Yes, beta. One cell organisms are also, because they have one sense, Ashna, like amoeba, right? So they have sense of touch. They are considered as sthawar jeev. Okay? Okay, let's keep going.
A bird was flying in the sky. She was very tired. She could not find a place to sit on the beach. Soon she saw a tree very far away and sat on it. There were some other birds sitting on the tree too. They started asking the bird, "Why are you so tired and angry, bird?" The bird said, "I live in a nearby forest. There are some humans cutting down the trees in it. They've broken my nest too. Many birds like me became homeless." She burst into tears. Only then came a voice from the sky. "Little bird," that voice was the air, the wind. "Why are you crying? You aren't the only one who is angry at the humans. Take me, for example. I am very polluted due to factories and the smoke of many vehicles. And look at that tree you're sitting on. Humans have been cutting down trees and tearing its leaves for years. See that river over there? That river is where all the city's waste from the factories are being thrown into the water so that it can't be used to drink. And that land below that tree is also very sad. They're cutting down mountains to make new roads to build their own houses, even though it's hurting the earth. The fire is also hurt because of all the unnecessary burning and pain. This story shows that the Stavrjeev also feel pain and that we, as human beings, should respect and care for them. Jai Jinendra.
Okay, so that's a video on Sthawar Jeev, है ना? The Jeev which are one sense organisms, and they are classified into 5 categories. Okay, now the next one is about the Tras Jeev. So let me get there, not this one. Where is the video on Tras Jeev? Let's see. Trying to find it. Okay, give me a second. Let me stop sharing for a minute. It's very interesting. Not able to locate it. So this one says English stories under Jain Pathshala. And this is English story. Okay. Okay.
याद है 5 इंद्रियों वाले वीडियो में हमने 5 इंद्रियों के बारे में लर्न किया
So
था।
I did find the
याद है
Hindi
ना?
one.
अच्छा,
Let's play it
क्या
out.
आपको पता है कि कुछ जीव के सभी 5
Give me a second, guys. Okay. Trying to see if I can find the English one. Okay, looks like I don't have the English video. Let me play the Hindi video. Okay. I'll do the translation as required. And more, and share screen, and here it is.
तो याद है 5 इंद्रियों वाले वीडियो में हमने 5 इंद्रियों के बारे में लर्न किया था। याद है ना? अच्छा, क्या आपको पता है कि कुछ जीव के सभी 5 सेंसेस नहीं होती? कई जीव की 5 सेंसेस होती हैं, कुछ की 4, कुछ की 3 और कुछ की केवल 2 सेंसेस होती हैं। इन सबको कहते हैं त्रस जीव। त्रस जीव, अब ये कौन से जीव होते हैं? त्रस जीव मतलब 2 से 5 इंद्रिय वाले जीव।
2 to 5.
जनरली इनमें चलने फिरने की पावर होती है। सबसे पहले पंचेंद्रिय जीव, 5 सेंसेस वाले जीव की हम बात करते हैं। आपने कभी एलिफेंट देखा है? उसकी 5 सेंसेस होती हैं। सुनने के लिए बड़े बड़े कान, सूंघने के लिए उससे भी बड़ी नाक, देखने के लिए आंख, चखने के लिए जीभ और टच के लिए इतनी बड़ी स्किन। ऐसी ही 5 सेंसेस मछली में भी होती हैं। वो भी सुन सकती है, देख सकती है। बर्ड्स जैसे पिजन, चिड़िया, मोर और एनिमल्स जैसे एलिफेंट, घोड़े, मछली, लायन, इन सभी के 5 इंद्रियां होती हैं। कुछ 5 सेंस जीव होते हैं जिनमें मन होता है, जो सोच सकते हैं आपकी और मेरी तरह। जैसे आप वीडियो को सुनकर समझ पा रहे हैं ना, ये आपके मन से हो रहा है। इनको हम कहते हैं सहनी पंचेंद्रिय जीव। सहनी पंचेंद्रिय जीव। मगर कुछ तो ऐसे भी 5 सेंस जीव होते हैं जिनको मन ही नहीं होता। ऐसे कुछ स्पेशल तरीके के वाटर स्नेक होते हैं और कुछ स्पेशल पैरट होते हैं जिसको मन नहीं होता। उन्हें हम कहते हैं असहनी पंचेंद्रिय जीव। अब अपन चलते हैं आगे। अब है 4 सेंस्ड बीइंग, 4 इंद्रिय जीव जिनके टच, टेस्ट, स्मेल और आईज, ये 4 सेंसेस होते हैं, वो 4 इंद्रिय वाले जीव कहलाते हैं। जितने भी फ्लाइज हैं, मॉस्किटोज हैं, बटरफ्लाइज हैं, बीज हैं, ये जब भी छोटे छोटे फ्लाई करने वाले जितने भी हैं, इन जनरल इनके 4 सेंसेस होती हैं। नाउ कैन यू टेल मी कौन सा सेंस 4 इंद्रियों के नहीं होता? सोचो।
कौन सा सेंस नहीं होता है 4 इंद्रियों के? Which sense is absent in the 4 इंद्रिय जीव? I gave you a hint earlier, so you can easily find with that applying that concept. I'll get to you, Ishna. Vikyat, can you give me the answer? Which sense is missing in the 4 indriya jeev?
The 4 in the Jeep are missing. They're missing
अच्छा, ये आंसर आपने नहीं किया तो आपको कान पकड़ने पड़ेंगे.
a noise, hearing.
Hearing, yes. तो अब चलो कान पकड़ लो. Good one, right? Because it goes like this: touch, taste, smell, hearing, no, watching, looking, and then hearing, right? So 5 senses, they have all the 5. Now cut one out of it, the last one. तो hearing निकाल दो तो वो 4 sense organisms हो गए. Hearing के साथ looking and seeing निकाल दो तो वो 3 sense हो गए, and so forth. ठीक है ना? So that's the way of remembering it. ठीक है?
कभी आपने बटरफ्लाई या मॉस्किटो को आवाज लगाई है? Do they listen to you? नहीं ना. They don't have ears to listen and understand good things. बटरफ्लाई को बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल आईज होती हैं, उनकी नोज भी होती है, वो टेस्ट भी कर सकती हैं, तभी तो फ्लावर से नेक्टर का अच्छा अच्छा टेस्ट लेती रहती हैं. और सेंस ऑफ टच भी होती है, वो ठंडी गर्मी को महसूस कर सकती हैं. फ्रेंड्स, फ्लाइज तो सो स्मॉल एंड टाइनी होती हैं. जब भी ये फ्लाइज मॉस्किटोज हंग्री फील करते हैं तो ये डर्टी थिंग्स या स्वीट से ही स्टिक हो जाते हैं और वहां से फ्लाई नहीं करने के कारण उनकी डेथ हो जाती है. या कभी ये फ्लावर्स के ऊपर मूव करते हैं और इवनिंग के टाइम सनसेट के बाद जब फ्लावर अपनी पेटल्स को फोल्ड करके रेस्ट करता है तो ये उसके अंदर ही लॉक हो जाते हैं. कभी कभी ये हमें बाइट भी करते हैं तो बाय मिस्टेक वो मच्छर बेचारा मर जाता है. वाई? बिकॉज इनके पास अंडरस्टैंड करने की, समझने की पावर नहीं है. क्या ऐसी लाइफ अच्छी है? हमारी लाइफ तो बहुत अच्छी है ना, कि हम गुड थिंग्स सोच पाते हैं, कर पाते हैं. जैसे ही हमारी लाइफ डेंजर में होती है तो हम सेल्फ डिफेंस भी कर सकते हैं. अब हम आते हैं 3 इंद्रिय जीव पे, जिनके टच, टेस्ट और स्मेल, ये 3 इंद्रिय होती हैं, उन्हें 3 इंद्रिय जीव कहते हैं. जैसे एंट, स्कॉर्पियन, बेडबग्स एटसेट्रा. अच्छा, अब ये बताओ, which senses they don't have? They don't have ear, they don't have eyes. But इनकी तो आईज दिखाई देती है ना. जो आईज हमें दिखाई देती हैं एंट की, वो कंपाउंड आईज होती हैं, जिससे ये प्रॉपरली देख नहीं पाते, इसलिए उन्हें सेंस ऑर्गन में काउंट नहीं करते. ओनली अपने एंटीनी की हेल्प से स्मेल करके ये अपने फूड के पास पहुंच जाते हैं. आप जानते हो एंट कैसे अपने स्मॉल से माउथ में फूड कैरी करती है? और कभी हम बिना देखे चलते हैं तो हमारे पैर के नीचे दब के मर जाती है. कभी कभी कीड़े मकोड़े, कॉकरोच को भगाने के लिए हम ऑल आउट, गुड नाइट, मॉर्टिन का यूज या पीडीटी स्प्रे करते हैं. इन सबसे भी इनकी डेथ हो जाती है. इन सब जीवों की लाइफ भी एवरी टाइम बहुत ही डेंजर में रहती है. Sometimes my heart filled with so much pity and sympathy for these small creatures जो अपनी लाइफ भी सेफ नहीं कर पाते. अब हम बात करते हैं 2 इंद्रिय जीव की, जिनके केवल 2 सेंसेस हैं, टच और टेस्ट. ठीक है, उन्हें 2 इंद्रिय जीव कहते हैं. लाइक वर्म्स, कैटरपिलर. आपने देखा है वर्म्स और कैटरपिलर को, हाउ डू दे क्रॉल स्लोली. रेनी सीजन में बेचारे कभी रोड पर, व्हीकल के नीचे, कभी हमारे पैर के नीचे आकर मर जाते हैं. कभी प्लांट्स या लीव्स पर मूव करती हैं तो वहां से भी बेचारे नीचे गिर जाते हैं. Actually, we should be so proud and feel lucky. शायद हमने बहुत गुड कर्म किए हैं, इसलिए हमें 5 सेंसेस मिली हैं. और मन भी, हम सैनी पंचेंद्रिय जीव हैं. वी आर लकी और हमें इसे यूटिलाइज करना चाहिए. तो आज हमने क्या सीखा? त्रस जीव, जिसमें 2 से 5 सेंसेस है, सैनी पंचेंद्रिय. 5 सेंसेस विद मन, सैनी पंचेंद्रिय. 5 सेंसेस विदाउट मन. अब हम अगले वीडियो में ऐसे जीवों को जानेंगे जिनके केवल 1 सेंस होती है ना. ओके, जय जिनेंद्र.
We covered the 1 sense, right, earlier with Sthavar. Ishna here, my daughter had a very good connection. So I was saying Sanghi Panchendriya, right? The other name for Sanghi Panchendriya is Sani Panchendriya. And, Ishna said Sani is kind of sounding same as sane. Sane बोलते हैं ना, sane, I'm a sane person. What do you think, Vikyat, sane person means?
Like he's still fine.
he's fine, or he's with a good brain. Insane means, if I say you are insane, how would you react to that?
What? No, I'm not insane.
Exactly. Insane means a mad person, right? So sane person is one who is smart and intelligent. है ना? So sani, panchendriya and sane person, like you see the relation connection there? Sane, they have cognitive ability. They are very sane. Sani panchendriya. है ना? So it's Hindi and English, two different languages, but somehow that connection is what Eshna saw. Good, Eshna. You are a sane person. That's what I would say. Okay, good. Beta, any other questions before we end up the session? No. Okay, good. Good to know. Okay, so please complete your assignments as given and follow the Niyam chart. Okay. And Eshna, can you lead us in, Jinwani Stuti, and we'll end the session? Come here. Come.
जावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक, जो वाणी मस्तक धरो देहु सदा दोक। हे जिनवाणी भारती मातो है जपो दिन रैन, जो तेरी शरणा गए मासो पावे सुख चैन।
Jai Jinendra Bachon. And what do we say when we end the session? Uttam Kshama or Michhami Dukram. Okay. I'm sorry for any, if I have hurt your feelings while giving this lecture, or if you have hurt others' feeling by listening and, asking questions or doing something during that lecture. So that's the feeling we express by saying Uttam Kshama. Okay, Vikyat?
Okay.
Uttam Kshama. Okay.
Uttam Kshama.
And I hope you have a great week ahead. Enjoy your MLK holiday and stay warm. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Beta. Bye. Thank you, beta. Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.